Black Clover didn't have the best of the beginnings. Both the anime and the manga were considered by many to be generic anime that thrived on cliches. And while it's true that Black Clover uses many tropes that are common in the shonen demographic, it does also have a unique style. We have all watched Asta grow up from a boy with no magic and no powers to a symbol of never giving up and turning into a strong person no matter what. But what if you knew that this example doesn't only happen in the manga and the anime? What if I told you there is an Asta in real life? Join us to see the story of a person and a team who were abandoned by the studio and left drift in the most chaotic and difficult production in the history of anime. This is discouraging and overwhelming factors of the Black Clover anime. Anyone who has watched the Black Clover anime will remember that the huge number of poorly animated scenes the series had and how it became a meme on the internet. It was normal for a person to see a deplorable quality in every aspect of the series. And of course, everyone jumped on the parent studio who were responsible for the project and they deserved it because in this case, it was largely their fault. A production has to have a team behind it and it is usually how it is structured. First comes the producer, the person who handles the money and hires the crew. The director is artistic mind responsible for bringing his vision on the screen. Production designer and cinematographer are the in charge under the director's orders of creating the lighting and the set design. When they took on the Black Clover project, instead of hiring a producer and building the show piece by piece, they just hired a director. And the person they threw into the hole was Tatsuya Yoshihara. Not only did they put the entire burden of creating the anime on his shoulders, but they gave him only 6 months to do so. And to be even more condescending, they gave him a small production team that had recently produced another anime. The reason, Yoshihara is very well known director in the industry. He has a lot of contacts and has worked on a lot of anime. He was even the action director of Chainsaw Man recently. He was in charge of making all the fights look so good. He also directed a few episodes. So how serious is it to make an anime in 6 months? More because the series would be weekly. Well, a lot. A production has 3 stages. Pre-production, where the script is made, the staff is chosen, the aesthetics are designed, the characters are designed, and the color palette is created. In other words, they do everything necessary to make the show look good. Production, the stage where the anime is created. Post-production is the stage where the colors, special effects, lighting, editing are applied. Generally, pre-production is what takes the longest. Some productions can be up to 5 years in pre-production and generally anime have 1 year to do this. A production takes about 6 to 8 months and post-production takes about 2 to 4 months. And that is with a full committee, producer, director, production designer and cinematographer. Imagine having 6 months to do these 3 things with a small crew and only one director. But in the face of adversity and conflict, Tatsuya Yoshihara managed to get the project off the ground by taking on the 4 positions alone for a long time, with no company support and the entire Japanese industry shying away from working in this dump. On 3rd of October 2017, an anime would be released that, against all odds, with a total broken production and a totally small team, would manage to release the series. But that was only the beginning of the hell. The biggest problem was the hiring staff. No one wanted to work on Black Clover, while the studio used their best animators, directors, and staff for Boruto anime, and Yoshihara had to eat a cable and use his anti-magic to continue such a precarious production. But what happened next? Everyone who watched the anime noticed how the series suddenly started to improve the animation quality, reaching the point where Dante vs. Asta and Yami was the best master student battle the genre could appreciate. All of this was thanks to the emerging trend. It had no secret that Japan had a chaotic industry when it comes to anime. So, due to the lack of staff, studios like MAPPA and Unfortable soon began to work with freelance animators. This is foreign animators who delivered their pieces over the internet. One Piece did these on many occasions. When Tatsuya Yoshihara realized this and saw that none of his contacts in Japan wanted to work with him, he started contacting foreign